fans in Comic Land, it's Leila here from the Comic Connection in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, with this week's comic book reviews. First up, we've got Uncanny X-Force #1. This is by Rick Remender and Jerome Opeña. In this one, Wolverine and Archangel have secretly resurrected the team, which also has members Deadpool, Phantom X, and Psylocke. And their first foe is, I guess not surprisingly, Apocalypse. So this was a pretty great start to the series. It has excellent writing and art. X-Force fans should be pretty pleased, even though there's a fairly loved character that's not in this new team. And, you know, how is it that Wolverine can be everywhere at once? But we'll forget about that and just say that I like the dynamic between Archangel and Psylocke, and I also like the dynamic between Wolverine and Archangel. And Archangel's whole struggle, or internal struggle, is going to be interesting to see play out in this series. Not a bad read. Next up, we've got Lady Mechanika #0 by Joe Benitez. And in this one, Lady Mechanika, who is an infamous mechanical huntress, is far closer than she's ever been to discovering who she is and how she came to be the way she is, until the maniacal Nathaniel Blackpool steps in and her only lead gets killed. Now, Lady Mechanika is in Blackpool's sights, and things are about to get a whole lot more complicated. So this is a really great story. I was really surprised for, you know, something from this company, which I don't normally enjoy. But however, this had great art, great story, and it's going to be a surefire hit amongst you steampunk fans. It's got that whole feel to it. So if you like that genre, you're probably going to like this. It's really well done. And last but not least, Ultimate Thor #1 by Jonathan Hickman and Carlos Pacheco. In this one, Father forges the weapon Mjolnir. Baron Zemo plans his attack against Asgard, but has to make a few stops along the way to recruit first. And Donald Blake tries to discover the identity of the man claiming to be Thor at the behest of Professor Braddock. So this is like an epic story that spans decades. It's going to be somewhat familiar to Thor fans because it's, you know, the usual origin tale, but with a bit of an ultimate twist. It's all setting up the eventual Nazi invasion in 1939 of Asgard and leading up to Ragnarok, which is something that we're all familiar with. But this is done, again, with that ultimate spin. It's got great art. Pacheco's art really fits well with the Ultimate line. And I have to say, I enjoyed this one. Amongst one of the many Thor titles that are available right now, this one is not too bad. See you next week.
As you're ready.
Hey folks, Jim here with another week's worth of reviews for Geeking Out. And this week, first up we have Once Upon a Clashma, written and drawn by Kumiko Sukake. And in this one, before wizards or magic, the world was filled with girls. But one day, all the girls disappeared and only wizards remained. But what would happen if the girls returned? The nice thing about this book is not only art and this okay story, is that it's only one volume long, so you get the entire story in one book. Overall, not a bad book. It's a couple of years old now, so I actually found it in a bargain bin, so you might actually want to check it out if you have a chance. It's not half bad. Next up, we have The Legend of the SteelBreed, #1, written by James E. Bay with art by Marvin S. Mariano. And in this one, Brecht has strange dreams of a past he cannot remember, and soon the past will come to confront him as his destiny awaits. But will he want any part of it? This is not half bad, actually. Pretty good story, pretty good art, and there's a talking dog. You can't go wrong with a talking dog. It's not bad overall. The story is a little hackneyed in spots, but overall it's pretty good, and it's in full color, so that's got a plus going for it. And last and certainly not least is Lady Mechanika #1, written and drawn by Joe Bennett. And in this one, Lady Mechanika heads to a rundown city known as Satan's Alley in search of a murderous creature, while Lady Mechanika herself is being hunted by bounty hunters. Not a bad first issue, pretty fun. I really like Bennett's art in this. It's not half bad. I mean, with the whole steampunk fad going on, it's not a half bad read. If you're a fan of this kind of stuff, you'll probably really enjoy it. See you next week.
Steampunk comics need your love too.